right, I think it's about time we do a quick change of Batman v Superman's infamous scene. Okay, the idea behind this scene is that Superman's adopted mother is named Martha, and Batman's deceased mother is named Martha. So when Superman says, "You're letting him kill Martha," that triggers Batman's memory of his parents' murder, which snaps him out of his built-up blood rage towards Superman. Now, do I think this is an okay way to stop Batman and Superman from fighting? Sure, it's okay enough, but the execution of this idea isn't good, and it all comes down to a couple of lines of dialogue spoken by Batman.
You were never a god. You were never even a man. You're letting him kill Martha. What does that mean?
Okay, we begin with Batman being confused, and the reason this piece of dialogue doesn't work is because it oversells the moment. We see this a number of times in Batman v Superman. There's an oversell of any given moment. After Superman says, "You're letting him kill Martha," it's enough that Batman pauses. That body language instantly tells the audience that these words spoken by Superman have caused Batman to stop and think.
Why did you say that name? Find him! Save Martha!
So here is the first time Batman says that infamous line of dialogue, and it only messes up that other line.
What does that mean?
It implies that Batman isn't confused about Superman saying that Batman is letting someone kill a woman named Martha, but rather that Batman is confused by Superman simply saying the name Martha. Now, if Batman had asked, "What do you mean? Who's Martha? Who's trying to kill Martha?" then we're on a track of Batman asking the right questions, which is something you would expect of Batman, the world's greatest detective. Instead, the writers try to play up the emotion, but it comes off as shallow because Batman isn't asking the right questions to gather information. He's actually asking all the wrong questions. Alright, now we're getting into the flashback depicting the murder of Batman's parents, which is a clever way to show Batman's origin story without appearing to retread a story we've seen plenty of times. Of course, if we want to make this flashback more powerful, we have to remove the depiction of the murder of Batman's parents shown during the opening credits of the film, because when this origin story is shown there, it comes off as a retread here, and we don't want that.
Why did you say that name?
So we have this beautiful flashback with this incredible music, and it's just ruined by that terrible line of dialogue. It doesn't work. It's far too on the nose. It's the writer telling the audience that the name is triggering a reaction from Batman. And we don't need that because we're already being shown the flashback, which is a representation of what's going on inside the mind of Batman right now. He's remembering his parents' murder, triggered by Superman telling him to save Martha.
Martha, why did you say that name?
Stop! Please, stop!
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name! It's his mother's name.
And this is just a mess. The scene tries to play to Batman's heightened emotion, but Lois coming in and telling him that Martha is Superman's mother's name to bring Batman down from that heightened emotion simply doesn't work. If we ask what caused Batman to begin to calm down, and we answer Lois told him that Martha is Superman's mother's name, then we can only conclude that Batman was thinking, "Oh my god, that was my mom's name too. What are the odds of that? Wow, I better not kill you now." I've heard some people defend this by saying that Batman realizes that Superman is human rather than alien once Batman hears Lois confirm that Superman has an Earth mother, but Lois never states that Martha is Superman's Earth mother, so Batman has no reason to believe that Martha isn't an alien too, or that Superman is any less dangerous now because he has a mother. Also, if Batman hates Superman so much, there's no reason why he wouldn't think of Superman's human mother as a traitor to humanity for harboring such a dangerous alien for so long, even if she happens to have the same name as his mother. So that argument just doesn't hold up. In fact, the best thing for this scene is for us to see Batman change, not because of a shift in perspective on Superman, but because of a shift in perspective on himself. This is actually set up through certain parts of the film where Alfred tries to tell Bruce that Bruce has changed and not for the better. So let's make a few alterations and see if we can show that particular shift in perspective.
You were never a god. You were never even a man. You're letting him kill Martha. Save Martha.
So we cut a few lines of dialogue here. Not only did we remove Batman getting confused and asking, "What does that mean? Why did you say that name?" But we also removed Superman saying, "Find him," because Superman should just say, "Find Luthor," since Superman knows Lex Luthor Jr. is holding his mother hostage. This is no time for Superman to be playing the pronoun game. This flashback is very well done, and as you'll see, Batman now comes down from his heightened emotion while this memory plays in his head.
Stop! Please, stop!
Since Batman now comes down from his heightened emotion during the flashback of his parents' murder, we can then conclude that he's remembering why he became Batman, and it wasn't to murder someone like Superman in cold blood. Also, Lois now runs into the scene not to explain that Martha is Superman's mother's name, but to snap Batman out of his head and back to reality. So it's less like Lois is explaining to Batman and the audience, or reminding the audience that Martha is Superman's mother's name, and more like Lois is causing an action that leads to Batman's next action of backing off and rethinking what he's doing based on the flashback of when he was a child and all he could do was allow his mother, Martha, to die.
I make you a promise. Martha won't die tonight.
The very reason he became Batman was to stop people from dying. This is what pulls Batman back from his raging desire to kill Superman, and it feels better within the scene that what keeps Batman from killing Superman isn't who Superman is, but who Batman is. And I think this line of reasoning fits well with the sort of apology Batman offers Alfred not long after the end of the fight.
Master Wayne.
Alfred.
Look, I'm sorry for listening in, but I've tracked the Russian's phone to a warehouse near the port. You're locked onto it.
I don't deserve you, Alfred.
No, sir, you don't.
Alright, so what do you think? Do you prefer Batman stopping just short of killing Superman because he found out that their mothers have the same name? Or do you like the focus being on a memory that reminds Batman of who he is and why he does what he does? That's all for now. Next up, back to Star Wars.